I'm back, y'all. Hope everybody's having a good week and staying safe and not catching the coronavirus, hopefully. Um, yeah, seems like we're just kind of stuck, just kind of watching the days go by. This is weird. So weird. It's like I'm forgetting what day of the week it is. Everything just kind of flows together now. It's so just it's uncharted territory. We know that much. Anyway, I'm basically talking to myself because I don't see comments yet, but I know they'll be coming soon, shortly. And I got some things that I want to talk about, as you can tell from the title. There's a couple things to cover, just a few things, you know. There we go. There go the comments. There they are. And also, this is monetized, by the way. I don't know. The last couple times I've used StreamYard, if people tried to send me super chats, they weren't able to, I guess, because of the monetization. I don't know, but it's figured out. So for all of you that have donated, either through Patreon or PayPal or Cash App, I keep forgetting I have that, or super chat, I appreciate all of you, especially during a time where some of you may not be working. You know, things are kind of up in the air financially. You still find the time to support me. So for that, I'm grateful. Thank you guys. All of you. Okay, so we got a good crowd here. All right, let's get started with the first thing. I guess this is kind of the biggest story of the day. And, you know, before I even get into it, I'm grateful that there's actually something to cover besides the very obvious elephant in the room that everybody's been talking about. Like, I think we could all kind of use a break from that personally. So, yeah, let's just jump right in. Bernie Sanders finally drops out of the Democrat race. I mean, this should come as no surprise to anybody. Nobody's shocked. He didn't have a path to victory at all. I'm guessing his fans were hopeful, people who support him, you know, the Bernie bros out there, the people who he always bragged about how he wasn't backed by any big donors. He got small dollar donations, and now he drops out. In reality, he probably should have dropped out shortly after Super Tuesday. Well, let's say the week after Super Tuesday, when it looked very obvious that Joe Biden was going to get the nomination. He probably should have dropped out then. My guess is, and it's just my opinion, he probably stayed in because he knew that people would still donate to him. So he's like, I might as well, you know, clean up on the donations, which is probably why Tulsi Gabbard stayed in as long as she did. Elizabeth Warren, so many of these candidates stayed in longer than they should have. We all know that. So the fact that Bernie Sanders waited so long is very obvious. He just wanted to clean up, get some more of that money. And we all know what's coming next. He's going to endorse Joe Biden. It's not going to happen yet, but he will endorse Joe Biden, either because they're going to offer him a fourth house, or he's going to come out and grandstand and be like, I am supporting Joe Biden because we have to stop the most dangerous president in the history of our country. He's going to say something like that. We all know. And my Bernie impersonations be getting better. Some of you have been telling me. But no, he's going to drop his support behind Biden because under the umbrella or the guise of, well, we have to stop Trump by any means necessary. So that's why I'm endorsing Biden. He kind of used that same talk track back in 2016 when he endorsed Hillary. He pretty much said, well, even though she's the establishment, I mean, we can't let Trump become president. Back when Trump was just an unknown, nobody knew actually what he was going to do as president. Some people did, obviously. They knew he was going to be a great president, but there's a lot of unknowns. People like me, I didn't know what Trump was going to do. So he threw all his support behind Hillary, but he didn't really have the weight of like, well, we got to stop Trump because he's so dangerous. This time he's like, I know what's going to happen. He's going to be like, yeah, you know, Donald Trump is just, he's a racist, a xenophobe, a religious bigot. He's going to throw all the, you know, the taglines out there, what he's been using against Trump for pretty much 3 years. Bernie's been calling him the same thing every time. He's a pull string doll. He is a pull string doll. Bernie Sanders says the exact same things on loop. On loop. Healthcare is a human right. The top 1/10 of 1%. He's going to say the same thing, except now it's just going to be campaigning for Biden. The question is, will his staunch supporters jump on board of Joe Biden? Because they, up until this point, even people like Secular Talk, all the like big name YouTubers and, you know, I guess semi-popular faces that support him, they were still attacking Biden as if Biden can't win. Bernie was our only shot. So now are they going to flip and be on Biden's team? It's like now they're going to really have to decide. Do you hate Trump so much that Biden's now amazing? Or are you just going to sit it out because you are principled and you're like, both of them suck, so I'm not going to vote? It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Be interesting to see how their messages pivot now that Bernie has officially dropped out. I think they were holding out hope that he was going to stay in through the, what do they call that thing? The national convention. I felt like they probably thought he was going to stay in and try to fight it to the end and stick it to the establishment, when most people who are on the outside looking in knew we would come to this point. The question is, why now? Somebody sent me a message already. Mike, do you think the election will be handed automatically to Trump? I don't think anything's going to be handed to Trump. I don't think anything has been handed to Trump. Unless there's a troll watching that's going to say his dad gave him millions. That's not what I'm referring to. I think that Trump is going to be the president regardless. I think that, well, I really don't know. I really don't know as far as him being handed anything, because if they shut down the elections, I guess he would be the president through, like, they can't remove him from office just because there's no election. I don't think anything's handed to him. If you're talking about, will Trump landslide Joe Biden? Yes, on paper he will, but the left is going to cheat. And also Joe Biden actually, believe it or not, as I've said before, Joe Biden actually does have the best chance to keep it close against Trump in states like Florida, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, because he's not a socialist. He's crazy and demented and corrupt, but he's not a socialist. Bernie is not a socialist either. He's a communist. So Biden would actually be more moderate, less dangerous, so to speak, to the, I don't know, the normies out there, the people that are just like, they weren't feeling Bernie, they hate Trump, and so they see Biden as just the status quo. So that's what I think. I don't think it's going to be handed to Trump. I think Trump's still going to have to campaign, even though this whole situation with the Rona kind of muddies the waters. I don't know. Hope everyone's staying safe during this time. But yeah, anyway, I'm trying to go back and forth between reading the comments, and because sometimes, the comments come in and I don't see them until I rewatch it. So I'm trying to do a better job of reading the comments, looking down as I'm going through everything. So yeah, Bernie finally dropped out, and I'm just wondering what it was about today that made him drop out. Was it really about the Wisconsin primary yesterday? Did it really have to do with him thinking he still had a shot? Or was he planning to do it today all along? Was he planning for a while? I don't know. I'm just waiting for him to endorse Biden so we can call him out again, because we know that that's going to happen. We already know he'll have to. He'll have to endorse Biden. The DNC will put pressure on him to endorse Biden. And just like 2016, he'll bend the knee and support the establishment that he rails against otherwise. And lastly, and then I'll move on from Bernie, this is it for him. This is it. There's not going to be a 4 years from now, Bernie is going to run again. This is it. His political career is done, in my opinion. I don't think he's got another presidential run in him. By that time, he'll be pushing 90 years old. I know what is he? Is he in his 80s? He's in his late 70s. Okay, so he'll be mid 80s by the time he tries to run again, if he tries to run again. You never know. He might try to run again, and I guarantee you people will still support him, still back him, still empty out their accounts, give him a bunch of money just to say, we're small dollar donations, we're supporting Bernie. I'm like, yeah, but don't you need that money? I mean, you're basically fattening the pockets of someone who's already rich. That's crazy. One of the craziest things I saw during Bernie's campaign is how rich people who support him, mainly puppet celebrities like Danny DeVito, are talking about, hey guys, even if it's just $1, we need you to donate to Bernie Sanders' campaign. He needs you. He's not backed by big corporations and super PACs and all that stuff. They're like, Danny DeVito's like, give him whatever you can, even if it's just $1. But it's like, Danny, your net worth is like $30 million. You donate, you give Bernie some money. You want some poor person who, really is clamoring for Bernie's policies, because that's who they really appeal to. Poor people and guilty liberals who think that the world should be free. Everything should be free. Bernie gives out stuff. Everything's a human right because Bernie said so. That's how they think it works. They think because a politician said something, it must be a human right. It's just the craziest thing. So Bernie's done. I don't see him running again. If he does, that'll be crazy, but he will actually have a following if he does run. He has no shot ever to be the president, and I think a lot of people knew that. Although I did want him to be the nominee, I really did, because I wanted to see Trump win in a landslide. I really wanted to see that happen, and that's exactly what would have happened if he was the nominee, because Biden landslided him in blue states. How did Biden blow him out in blue states? So if Biden blew him out in blue states, then Trump's going to wipe the floor with him. I just would have loved to see that, because we would have wanted to see Trump win in a landslide. I honestly think Trump could have potentially got the popular vote. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard to tell with the popular vote because so many people in California vote, and that's just a hardcore blue state. Between California and New York, I think that's like 60 million people. And I know not everybody in those states are Democrats. It's still a large chunk of people that vote Democrat. I think who knows? There might be more Democrat voters. I don't know. Anyway, moving along. Biden's accuser. And I think I talked about this last week briefly. I told you guys where I stood with it. I think 30-year-old accusations that happen to come out conveniently when someone's running for office or something big for their career, I think it's a non-starter. I really do. And I don't care if it's Biden, Kavanaugh, whoever. If it's a 30-year-old allegation, come on, man. Come on. It's one thing if it's 30 years old. It's another if it's 30 years old and it comes out when you're running for president or you've been nominated to the Supreme Court. I mean, everybody knows what that is. Everybody knows what it's about. It's politically motivated. It's politically driven. Whether or not it's true, which it probably isn't, because if it was true, it'd come out before. But whether or not it's true, I mean, what can you do with it 30 years later? 30 years later. So that's where I stand on it. And also, I do believe in due process. So if they were going to say, okay, these are legit charges, we need to look at Joe Biden. Okay, he deserves due process just like everybody else does. Everybody gets due process. The problem is the hypocrisy. They don't even, this actually makes me mad. There is no shame in their game. They do not care that that they are wildly hypocritical. Mainly Alyssa Milano, but of course all the Democrats too. But Alyssa Milano, I mean, come on. I'm just happy she got called out. People aren't letting them get away with this stuff. She got roasted. She got roasted for that, for her hypocrisy. Talking about, well, he deserves due process. I mean, we need to do our due diligence and investigate her claims and see if they're authentic. And this should in no way tarnish the Me Too movement or Time's Up. And I support Joe Biden. So basically what you're saying is this woman didn't accuse a Republican, so it doesn't matter. My Democrat buddies need due process. But if it is anybody, conservative, Republican, libertarian, anybody I disagree with politically, off with his head. That's basically what she's saying. And only people with functioning brains can see that. I know that she probably has people who just don't care. They're just politically driven. They're like, yes, girl, we believe you. We stand with you. We stand with you, even though you have insane double standards and you're a hypocrite and kind of a terrible person because you tried to ruin Kavanaugh's life over 40-year-old allegations with zero evidence. Crazy. But I mean, again, who's really shocked? Who is surprised that Joe Biden has an accuser and it's not being picked up by the media? It's being ignored by the Me Too movement. They don't care about this woman, even if it's not true. They don't care to investigate. Nobody cares. They don't care. She does not exist. Just like Juanita Broderick, whatever. The lady who accused Bill Clinton. And that was a credible accusation. There was actually evidence to support that. And she's just one of several women who accused Bill Clinton. You know, he has a history of misconduct, as does Joe Biden. That's the thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean, it's very possible that this is true with Biden, but I mean, again, it's 30 years old and it's coming out while he's running for president, which makes everybody, you know, it's a head scratcher. It's just a non-starter, guys. It just is. It just is. You know, it's very obvious that Joe Biden is a creep and a pervert, and there's definitely some material there if somebody did want to investigate it, but I doubt it. Let me give some shout outs. Josh, the DNC screwed themselves by selecting Joe Biden. I think that they did screw themselves by, I mean, they were screwed from the beginning, because when Trump first got elected, their goal was to impeach him right away. They didn't want to work with him. Their best shot would have been to try to work with him, even if they were being fake about it, and then put forth their candidate. Like, oh, I'll adopt some of Trump's policies. They're just like, no, we're going to reverse everything he's done. I'm like, everything he's done? Like trade deals, the unemployment rate being low, all the money that he's given to like HBCUs, you're going to reverse all that because it's him that did it? This is stupid. So I think they showed their hand. They basically counterpunched Trump too hard, and it came back to bite him. Thank you for the super chat, Joey. And I thought I saw another one in there. Maybe it was just those two. Josh and Joey. Oh, Josh, you sent me two. Appreciate you, man. Joe Biden must choose Hillary as his VP. I guess it's still up in the air. Apparently, Andrew Gillum was going to be his chosen running mate, or he was on the list of running mate options. I don't think that's going to happen, guys. I have a hunch that Andrew Gillum will not be Joe Biden's running mate. And that wouldn't work out anyway, even if Andrew Gillum didn't do what he did, because he was more aligned with Bernie ideologically. Gillum was a leftist. Gillum's far left. So it wouldn't make sense if he then would support status quo Joe and be his running mate. The hypocrisy would get called out, not that the left cares. Honestly, he already said that it's going to be a woman as his VP, but because of the doctrine of identity politics, the woman that he chooses has to be black. There is no other option. I mean, he could choose a white woman because it's still a woman. At the end of the day, it's going to be a woman, but I think he's going to probably end up choosing a black woman. I mean, it's really sad and shallow that I had to say that, but it's the truth, right? Race is what matters. That's all that matters, is that it's a black woman. She doesn't have to be qualified or anything. It's the optics of it all. That's the doctrine. That's the truth. That's the name of the game. So I'm standing by my pick that I think it will be Stacey Abrams. And the rumors have never died down that she said recently, I guess in some interview, that she's open to being his running mate. Michelle Obama's already said she doesn't want to do it. I don't know who else he would pick. Loretta Lynch? I don't know. Some people were throwing out guy names like Eric Holder because, I mean, he's a minority, but he's a guy. Joe needs to try to recoup some of the female voting block, because he's a freaking creep and a pervert. And now he's got these allegations out there. Like, somebody knows about it. There's people out there that know he's been accused. So there's probably women who are completely turned off by that. But I think it is going to be Stacey Abrams. I really do. Oh, wait. Okay, here we go. Comments were rolling slow. Go big Mike Obama. He forgot that he said he was going to have a woman as his running mate. I did not say that. Male politicians actually... Hold on. They're moving kind of weird. StreamYards, the comments are kind of weird. As soon as I hover over them, I can't see them. Oh, someone said it will be Kamala Harris. However, she really isn't black. She's black when she needs to be. She was black when she ran for president. She was Indian when she got sworn in to the Senate or whatever. She was AG of California. I don't know. Whenever she was sworn in for some position, she was sworn in as an Indian. She is racially ambiguous. Let's just say that. And she's a minority. I don't think it necessarily has to be an exact black woman. Like, if it's a mixed woman, it just basically can't be a white woman, according to the left. It cannot be a white woman. That won't be enough. Barack was more black than Kamala. I mean, that's factually true. Anyway, yeah, so Biden's been accused, and nobody cares because Biden's not a Republican. So even if it did happen, Biden could get accused today for something that happened last week, and the left would not care. They would literally, they'd overlook it. They're like, no, because we got to stop the orange man. We'll deal with that later. Someone pay her off, give her some hush money. There's no investigation. There's no pearl clutching. There's no Me Too marches and protests and none of that stuff. Even if we weren't dealing with the Rona, there would be none of that. That's why I say Biden could have 10 more accusers come forward, and they would probably at that point say Trump probably paid for those women to come out and accuse Biden. That's what they would say. In fact, I'm surprised someone hasn't already said this woman was probably paid by someone in the Trump campaign. They might go investigate her. That's what they'll do. Damn it. That's what they'll do if they haven't done it already. Some journalists will be bold enough to try to link this woman to Trump. So they'll flip it on her and say, yeah, you're probably a Republican. You're probably tied to Donald Trump in some way, even though I guess she was part of Joe Biden's staff or something. I don't know. I haven't followed her story. Thank you for the super chat. Wrestling, I'm going to put up on the screen. It's just easier. Sup, Mike? Continue to bring the content. I truly hate how the left plays this ideology on race, gender. It's sickening. Much love and respect to you, bro. Appreciate it, man. As long as, here's the thing, as long as they continue doing what they do, I will always be here. I will always be here to call this out. Somebody's got to do it, man. The hypocrisy just gets, it's like, it's mind numbing. It's just, they just get away with it. They just get away with it. They don't even care. They have no principles. They just whatever, man. Whatever. So yeah, there's that. Let's talk about, see, I didn't really want to get into the Rona, but it's kind of impossible at this point. So I'll just cover some things about it. Let's talk about the World Health Organization. The World Health Organization, why do we trust them again? Why? I'm skeptical. I've got trust issues, I guess. I guess that's just me. I got trust issues when it comes to these faceless organizations, these unelected, unaccountable, taxpayer-funded organizations that have a lot of power and they pay zero price for being wrong. I just have a problem with that. I will always have a problem with that. You know, I think that the World Health Organization needs to be either abolished, or can we remove the United States from being a part of it? It's just, there's no accountability and oversight whatsoever. From the very beginning, they were iffy with the information. They're supposed to be the experts, right? So why would they say, oh no, it's good, guys, it's good. China said, it can't be transmitted from human to human. So we're good. We're good. No, no, no. Then they're like, oh, actually, humans can get this. Why would you even release that first statement without knowing? And why would you trust the Chinese government? Oh, that's right. You support the Chinese government. Okay, got it. Makes sense. See, there's no loyalty. Actually, they shouldn't be loyal to anybody. It's supposed to be neutral. But can any of these, I don't know, faceless organizations, can they truly be neutral and not put their own interests first? Right? I believe Bill Gates donates a lot of money to them, like more than some countries donate. So basically, they're doing his bidding. And we don't need to start up about what Bill Gates's agenda is. We don't need to go there. But you guys know what Bill Gates's agenda is. So why does anybody trust the World Health Organization? Anyone who stands in front of their placard or their little background thing and speaks, they're representing the World Health Organization. So what about the guy who just the other day said, well, it looks like the virus has reduced itself to the family units. So now what we need to do is go find who the sick family members are and separate them, with dignity, whatever that means. That's someone from the World Health Organization. They've also said, oh, you need to wear a mask now, even though 5 minutes ago they said you don't need to wear a mask. So why would we trust anything else they say when they flip-flopped, when they're funded by Bill Gates, when they're cozy with the Chinese government, when they help spread Chinese propaganda and misinformation, calling Trump's travel ban from China racist? Why are they even engaging in that? That's not your job. Going back to what I said, why do we trust these big organizations to be authority figures? Who are they? Who are the people working there? Think about, I'll give you a good example of why we got to permanently discredit all of these big organizations, big brother organizations. Let's call them that, big brother organizations. That's what they are. They're basically telling us what's right and wrong, what we should do next. I'll give you a good example of why we should stop trusting them all. Remember when the American Dental Association said, fluoride is good for you. You need it in your toothpaste. You need it in your water. And now, after all of these years of people drinking faucet water, getting fluoride in their toothpaste and fluoride mouthwash, now they're like, oh, actually, it causes neurological damage and, lowers your IQ. Oops, our bad. See, that's a good example right there. They pay no price for being wrong. There's no accountability. There's nobody you can talk to. It's just an organization with people behind it just talking, telling you what's right and wrong. Here's what we should do. Not like you had choice to have fluoride dumped in your water. Big brother just decided that's what's good for you, so you're going to drink it. And by the way, it's a neurotoxin. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, man. These faceless organizations must be completely abolished, in my opinion. Or if you're going to have one of those, it needs to be at the country level instead of some World Health Organization. How about Florida Health Organization? That way we know who those people are. We can go to their building. We can talk to them. It's dumb. It's so dumb. Fluoride can cause diabetes and cancer. I guess it can. Wouldn't be surprised. And I recommend, while we're on the subject of water, I'm going to drink some. And I'm going to recommend that you guys get yourself a filter that doesn't just take out the minerals and stuff. Get one that takes out fluoride. That's what I recommend. Maybe get I don't know. I would like to get one of those reverse osmosis water filtration units. I don't know. There's one that's like gravity fed, and I don't know. It's just, I recommend you don't drink fluoride. Anyway, so the World Health Organization is a joke. And the more that I learn about them, the more that I'm happy that we see, this is another reason why we have the right man for the job, because he's calling them out. He's calling out the World Health Organization. He's talking about, we need to look into them. Like, are they pro-China? They shouldn't be pro anybody. They should just be pro-truth. But they're not. And they lied. And they didn't help the situation when Trump banned travel from China. He just called them out, said, we're going to look into them. Maybe we should suspend funding them. I tend to agree. That's not a good use of Mike's tax dollars. It's just not. Right. So I like that President Trump is calling them out, holding them accountable. But the more that I learn, the more I see how shady they are and how Anthony Fauci is just a deep state doctor. You know, I had my suspicions about him from the beginning because he was so quick to jump on the vaccine bandwagon. Come to find out, he's basically on the payroll of Bill Gates. That's interesting. The same Bill Gates that wants to depopulate the world. And he said it, came out of his mouth. It's not a conspiracy theory. He keeps saying it. He wants a digital tracking system. Come on, guys. Come on. No. But Fauci seems to think that the only way out of this is through a vaccine. And that's the only way we can return to some normalcy. Well, does he have the final say? I mean, he is part of the authoritative source, the trusted source that we're all supposed to look to, right? It's just scary that the World Health Organization is recommending that the economy stay shut down until a vaccine is developed or until they find a cure, whatever that looks like. I don't know how you cure a virus. Your immune system is all you really need to fight off a virus. It's just the truth. It's just, how are we going to find a cure for this virus that's, I guess, seasonal? How can you cure something? I mean, we haven't. And the thing is here, let me switch gears a little bit to the vaccine itself. As I've said before, guys, talking vaccines, that's not in my wheelhouse. I'm not a medical expert. I'm not going to say, don't take this, don't take that. I'm just saying, as someone who's never had the flu shot, I feel okay never getting the flu shot, because if I get the flu, I trust my body to fight it off. And guess what? If my body somehow doesn't fight it off, despite my best efforts to stay healthy, then guess what? It was my time. But I don't think that some vaccine is going to save me from getting the flu. In fact, people who get the flu shot end up feeling sick and getting the flu every year. You know, I'm going to knock on wood here. I haven't been sick in at least, I'm going to say like 2 years. The last time I got sick actually was when I traveled for a wedding. And that's the time before that I got sick for the same thing, traveling for a wedding. You know, weak immune system, drinking on top of that, celebrating, weakens the immune system more. It is what it is. But I don't get sick just randomly because I do what I can to stay healthy. So the very idea that somehow they're going to introduce this vaccine and that will make us safe enough to go out in public again just tells me that there's a deeper agenda, because we have a flu vaccine and the flu still kills lots of people every year. So what's the point of the vaccine if it doesn't get rid of the flu? Like, what does someone getting the flu vaccine actually do for them? Does it prevent them from getting the flu? We obviously know it doesn't. It doesn't prevent anybody from getting the flu. So what's the point? The same is probably going to be true for the Rona. I'm just calling it the Rona because hopefully YouTube won't demonetize it. Dr. Mike Nificent has a nice ring to it. No. I'm not a doctor. I am not an expert. But again, who are the experts? Why are they the experts? Who made them the experts? Why do they get to tell us? And are they right? How do we know they're right? You know, trust your gut, trust your intuition. It's a proven fact that stress weakens your immune system. So don't stress, chill. That's probably what I should have started with in this live stream, is just, you guys just need to chill. Everybody out there watching, everybody in America, everybody in the world. I'm not for 1 second downplaying the severity of the Rona, but at the same time, it is grown into this beast that's out of everyone's control. So the best thing we can do is just chill, because worrying about it and stressing about it and focusing on it only increases your likelihood that you'll actually catch it. So if you can, go outside, get into nature, catch a vibe, get some sunshine. It's starting to warm up around the country. People, I was outside today. I posted a picture of the sunset. People are outside. I know every state is different. I know that some states are on extreme authoritarian lockdown. I got family in Colorado, and I was talking to them this week. And in Colorado, you can't leave the house unless you're wearing a mask. People are getting arrested. You can get ticketed, I guess, if you don't wear a mask when you leave the house. I'm just grateful that I live in a state where, even though we're technically on lockdown, it really, to me, it feels like they're just reinforcing the suggestion, the strong suggestion that we stay indoors and limit activity, but people are still going out. The thing is, people are being smart. People are being smart when they're going out. It's not like they can go cram into some casino or something. People are going to the grocery store. They're going to the pharmacy. Yes, they're still going to the beach, but they're staying 6 feet apart. So if you can go to the beach and stay 6 feet apart, why is that a problem? You're more likely to get it by going to the store. So, I mean, I'm just grateful that I live in a state that I don't have to deal with that. And I really do feel for people who are living in a state where it's just a big authoritarian party. You know, it's crazy that you're having to deal with that, but don't stress. Eat some good food, get good rest, drink non-fluoridated water, take your vitamins, get sunshine, vitamin D. I recommend everybody take a multivitamin every day. That's my little Dr. Mike Nificent prescription, but it's really just common sense stuff. Drink water, eat healthy if you can. I struggle with that. Get good rest, get exercise. Don't stress. Don't weaken your immune system. Don't focus on not getting sick. Focus on staying healthy. Focus is key. Focus on the number of people who are recovered from the coronavirus. There's a large number of people. I think as of this afternoon, there's like 217,000 people, at least 217,000 people worldwide who have recovered from the Rona. So that's something, of course, the media will never tell you that. It doesn't fit their agenda. But that's what I mean. We need to kind of focus on that, focus on the positives, instead of the negatives. Joey said, I'm still going to the liquor store, but I wear a mask. I'll tell you what, I'll wear a mask if it says Trump 2020 on it. That's the only way I'm wearing a mask. That's the only way I'm doing it. And I'm happy that our governor hasn't made it mandatory. He won't do it. He won't make it mandatory. And even if he did, I'm still not wearing the mask. But I've seen some crazy stuff. I'm not going to lie. I've seen people with the mask on driving and their windows are up. I've seen people driving with the windows up with a mask on and they have gloves. I'm just like, I get it. They're trying not to get sick. Okay. But I mean, that's the epitome of the paranoia and the fear that the media has been pushing. If they can push you to cover your mask because you're afraid in an enclosed car that you're going to catch the Rona, what does that say about the direction we're headed? Humans were never supposed to be this easy to control. And oh, by the way, 5 minutes ago, they just told us you don't need a mask. So I'm not doing it. I'm not wearing a mask. I refuse to. But I can already see that that's going to be part of our new reality going forward. Part of our new reality. People are going to just wear their masks. In fact, there are some fashion designers out there that's going to slap a Gucci logo on there. You're going to get Nike masks. They're going to get creative. There's going to be designer masks. People, it's going to be a thing. If it's not already a thing, I've seen a couple just out and about, but it's going to be a thing that people are wearing masks. And here's the other thing that we need to kind of accept. Our world is changing. The world as we knew it before Rona came into our lives, That world is gone. It is. It just is. We have to accept it. It's the truth. For those of us that read scripture, some things have to come to pass. Doesn't mean we shouldn't still hold the line and tell the truth, expose the evil and the corruption, call things out, but some things have to come to pass. Just know that in the end, we win. There is absolutely a spiritual battle going on. I've said it for years. Spiritual warfare. I believe God chose me for a time such as this, believe it or not, even though I'm not some gung-ho Bible thumper out here. You guys will never hear me really talk about that, but there's no mistake of why I'm here right now, why I woke up, why I have a YouTube channel, why I see things that I've seen. There's a great awakening. There's a shift happening in the world. And thus there's a spiritual warfare going on, because there are people who have good intentions for the world and there are people who have bad intentions. And those people, they're battling it out. It's a battle. It's happening. We're in this. It's real. The old guard is going to fall. We win in the end. Truth, love, God wins in the end. Jesus wins in the end. We win in the end. Period. But some bad things are going to happen. They've already happened. They're happening as we speak, as I speak, as you type. Bad things are happening right now. But we just have to know that it's going to happen. We're going to win. It's going to be okay. But the world as we knew it before is basically done. It's done. I just don't see things going back to normal, even though they weren't normal before. It's not going to be the way it was before. In many ways, I think it's going to be better. A lot better. I've already seen some of it. I talked about some of it, even just the little things. I think that I've noticed it at the grocery store. They put up those like plexiglass guards to prevent, just keep distance between you and the cashier. I think that that's a good thing. I mean, shouldn't a cashier be as protected as possible from the thousands of strangers that they see every day? I don't know. That seems like a harmless mitigation. I love seeing that. I think that we'll maybe see restaurants start when you go through, when you go through the drive-through fast food, they'll give you napkins, right? Maybe next they'll give you hand sanitizer wipes. Maybe. I'll tell you what, whichever companies adapt the fastest are going to be the most successful. I could already see now Chick-fil-A will be one of those companies that gets it. They'll provide a hand sanitizer station right at the checkout. You can wash your hands after you swipe your card or whatever. I'm telling you, there's going to be some good innovations just as it relates to keeping our society less germy. Because let's be real, guys, we were living in a really germy society before. And a lot of us we subconsciously knew it, but we just didn't really think about it. But now that everything is like, we're over analyzing every aspect and cleaning and wiping everything, and we're seeing all these things go up in our grocery stores and stuff, we're like, damn, that kind of made sense. They should have did that a long time ago. Donuts shouldn't have been in an open case where flies and people's arm hairs could get on there. Just little things like that. I think we're seeing changes, and I think that's a good thing. So that's just one little aspect of it. I would like to see that. Germs make us strong. They do. I mean, there's no denying that, but I think you should avoid germs where possible. I don't think that by me exposing myself to a nasty person that I get a good feeling about it. Like, yes, I didn't get sick, but my immune system is stronger now. I just don't feel that. I don't know. If we can avoid germs, then let's do it. But other than that, I mean, there's just going to be a lot of changes, guys. And I don't see it any other way. And that's not me being a Debbie Downer or a pessimist. I'm just kind of being a realist here. I think that they're going to keep a lot of this stuff in place. We know that the psychological damage has been done. There's going to be people who are going to social distance to the max. Like after they say, okay, it's good, we're good to go, we've defeated this with a vaccine or whatever, people are still going to be like, stay back, 6 feet, please. People are going to be weird and paranoid for a while. That fear, that takes a while to wear off. It's gonna psychological damage. I mean, people have been traumatized by this entire situation. So I think there's going to be that. I think that the social distancing thing as it relates to public gatherings, I think there's going to be some heavy restrictions on that. I've seen pictures of people who went to Vegas like a couple years ago. They're like, look at the picture of this pool party. And there's like thousands of people jam-packed into a pool in Las Vegas. I think that they're probably going to change that. They're probably going to have limits on people that can go in. I think there's just going to be a lot of rigorous mitigations that are going to be painful, right? Sporting events, who knows? I mean, I don't know. I think if they have it their way, the people who mean to do harm, of course, this is going to go completely off the rails, right? We know what the agenda is. They've told us. They're bringing Bill Gates on to give his opinion. Why are they doing that? Why is he going on Fox News? Why is anybody giving him the time of day right now? He's not a medical expert. He doesn't have a medical background. He pays for medical expertise. He funds research, but that doesn't make him an expert. So why do we care about his opinion? He's not the president. He should have no say-so whatsoever. And yet he does. They're bringing him on to be some expert. So why is that happening? Because it's part of the agenda. To have some kind of tracking system, a certificate. You can't get another ID until you've had the Rona vaccine. That's what's going to happen. Watch it happen. Anyway, I think that's everything on my list, guys. I thought I had something else on there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I saved the best for last. The Rona is racist. She is racist. And you know how I know that she's racist? Because black people are dying. And if she wasn't racist, more white people would be dying than black people. But black people are dying disproportionately to white people. So therefore, it's important during this global pandemic that we highlight the fact that more black people are dying than any other race, which some people have made those claims. I haven't dug into the numbers to confirm or deny. I don't think it matters. The fact is, they're using every aspect of this pandemic to shoehorn in their little wedge issues and drive division and stoke the flames and distract people from the real stuff that we should all be focused on, regardless of race, regardless of gender, honestly, regardless of political party. It's just, they're what can I even say that I haven't already said, guys? I mean, honestly, the coronavirus is racist because more black people are dying, because we obviously have more underlying conditions due to a lot of different factors, none of which having to do with white supremacy. None of them. Your body, your choice. I'm not going to sit here and get on some pedestal like I eat healthy all the time. I actually eat pretty terrible, but I exercise and it's ultimately my choice. So why even bring it up? Because New Orleans and Detroit are having really high cases of the Rona. I mean, that's pretty obvious. I mean, if the Rona is in a urban area or a city, a place with a high population density, more people in that area are going to die. And I think it's regardless of the color of the person. It's just true. Now, the underlying health conditions, that's a whole nother situation, because not everyone who's black has underlying health conditions. Not everyone who's black has diabetes and hypertension and stuff. But while we're on the subject, can we talk about those diseases which are clearly more deadly than the Rona? Oh no, we don't get to talk about those ever because that's how big pharma gets paid. You guys didn't know that? You guys didn't know that? We don't have a healthcare system, as Marianne Williamson said the one time they let her in on the debates. We have a sick care system. They don't want you healthy. They want you on the verge of death. This is the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. Problem, you're sick. You get the diabetes. You get the hypertension, heart disease, high blood pressure. You get all these things because of the food that they market, the food that's available, the food that's cheap, the lack of education, the personal choice to choose something unhealthy versus healthy. All the factors that lead to these diseases that are more deadlier than the Rona, by the way. And then Big Pharma comes in with pills, surgeries, dialysis, all the stuff. The medical industry cashes in. It's a sick care program. Sick care. That's what we have. They don't want anybody healthy. They want you sick. That's how it works. This isn't even my opinion. This is something you can see for yourself. There's a reason why they don't talk about the cure. They don't talk about that stuff. Anyway, now we're talking about China. China enslaving Africa. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at someone else saying, someone typing in diabetes with a bunch of E's at the end. That's right. They don't want you cured, just treated. Right? Why would they cure you and give you a one-time fix when they can have you coming back for more? It's big business. They would have it no other way. So that's just my take on it. I think it's very obvious to those paying attention and that are honest while paying attention that they don't give a damn about the black people dying. They don't care. It's expedient. It helps them politically. It helps them club their political opponents. They don't care about these people. They didn't care before. They don't care now. They're pretending to care because it helps them politically, and they can blame Orange Man bad. Orange Man sucks. It's all the Republicans. It's white people. This is why we need Rona reparations. Just garbage. It's just, and the people that are spewing this, by the way, I just want to highlight this because I do have liberal friends that watch me and they're like, Mike, you say this stuff as if it's all liberals. They're right. It's not all liberals. It's not. I know a lot of people who think AOC is trash for saying some of the stuff she says, and not just AOC, the woke far left. They know that she's trash. This is a fringe minority of the population. So all they do is really just shriek into the wind. There's only a few woke leftists on Twitter who will retweet it and agree with it, even though it's outlandish and nonsensical. They'll support it. But that's a very small amount of the population. But you would think it's the largest part of the population. You'd think it's a lot of people because they get all the cameras, they get the spotlight, they get the attention. They have the loudest voice. They're shouting through a megaphone. You know, this is pretty much what it is, guys. It's the fringe minority groups, Twitter, and where else do they shriek? I mean, they have their platforms, you know, the AOCs of the world, the Ayanna Presleys. They're always looking for some kind of way to advance a far left radical agenda that's just not popular. Identitarians, that's what they are. They advocate for race-based solutions. Every step of the way, regardless, they will find a way to drive a wedge between races. That's all that they're about. So, I mean, Rona being racist, do I need to tell you how ridiculous that is? I mean, gosh. And they never want to dig the problem up by the root. They never do, because if they cared, they'd be like, well, let's try to fix some of the underlying health conditions, because obviously the Rona is going to be around. So what can we do to boost the immunity of the people who are most vulnerable? They don't care. They don't care. They never care. Just like they don't care about solving any of these other issues. They just don't care. There was something else that I didn't include in the title because I didn't want it to be too long. Yeah, so let's talk about the criminals getting released. Compassionate release, they call it. R. Kelly tried to get it released too. Like, I think they're trying to give me the Rona. Could you guys let me out like you did Tekashi 6ix9ine and some of the other felons, please? I think I'm gonna get the Rona. It just gave people in jail a convenient excuse to try to get released. And I just, I can't wrap my brain around this one, guys. Like most of the craziness on the left, I can't wrap my brain around this one. Okay, so we're gonna release criminals back on the street because we're concerned about them catching the Rona. Okay, so we're releasing criminals back on the streets. Then we're not prosecuting some of these crimes like petty theft, vandalism, I think robbery, couple things that they see as like, I guess, okay. They don't want to prosecute those crimes, okay? While criminals are on the streets, you can't defend your business because you're not allowed to leave your house. So if a vandal wants to, spray paint your business or kick in the window and then go and steal stuff, all you got is an insurance claim that you can file, but you don't get to defend it. Because guess what? If you leave your house while we're on a lockdown, you're going to get arrested. I can't get there mentally. I don't know. Maybe you guys can. Let me know in the comments. Make that make sense for me. Releasing criminals, not prosecuting crime, and arresting law-abiding citizens who violate the social distancing, curfew, whatever, lockdown orders. Make that make sense for me. Please, anybody, if you can, make that make sense. I just don't know. They always side with criminals. There is a criminal element and it runs deep from politicians all the way down to thugs on the street. They're always going to be sided with on the left. It's just true, man. I hate to like try to play this left-right paradigm thing, but I mean, it's just the truth because it's an ideologically driven perspective to see, like, you instantly, when this whole Rona thing came about, if one of the first groups of people you instantly thought about were, well, what about the criminals in jail? What about those rapists in there? If that's one of your first groups of people, I gotta wonder, where's your head at? Why? How is it possible? Damn, can I be released from my house? I know, right? Prison is actually the perfect quarantine, but we release them and arrest innocent pastors and parents. Oh yeah, I heard about that. The guy that got arrested for playing catch with his family, with his daughter. I'm just like, man, come on, really? Just terrible, man. Again, it goes back to, if you live in a state where you have a left-wing governor, you have to deal with some extreme authoritarianism. I mean, how can people not see this is just an authoritarian power grab? That's all it is. They're just using this to really, I don't know, just control people. That's what it's about. Not to go in circles, talk in circles. I'm wrapping it up, guys. I'm tired if you haven't noticed. But I appreciate everybody that has watched tonight, everybody that supports me through PayPal, Patreon, or if you just send me an email, if you leave comments, people that watch my streams regularly, I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be back soon with more nonsense, guys. Got to cover the nonsense. It's going to be with us for a while. And while we're sitting inside, spend time with your family, your pets, get out in nature. Like I said, get some sunshine. The fresh air helps. And yeah, let's see what happens next, guys. But God bless you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys in the next stream.